Hey, how are you? My name is Dara, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do polygel nails at home with the sculptured tips and a Russian manicure so you can keep your cuticles nice and fresh. So, for today's design, I really didn't have any references. All I had was the idea that I wanted to do chrome nails, and Lord knows I got a lot of gems and charms and all of that jazz. So, I want to do chrome, add some charms, and do a little bit of 3D art and see how it goes. Hopefully, it all turns out good. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Okay, so I'm starting off with bare nails and spraying a little bit of antiseptic on it so I don't get any random bacteria and other bits and bobs all up in my business, causing infections and all of that. Then I'm getting a cuticle pusher and I'm pushing all my cuticles back. And now with a flame drill bit, I'm gently lifting my cuticles. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to apply as little pressure as possible because I don't want to hurt myself. But I'm using the tip to kind of get under the cuticle so that it's easier to cut in the next step. And then I'm going along with the sides so that I have a larger surface of nail to work with later on. The way that I do it is I'll do one half of each nail first, and then I put my machine in reverse, and then I go around doing the other side. And then I'm going back with my cuticle pusher, just making sure that everything is nice and lifted because I want it to be easy when I cut my cuticles. I don't want to accidentally hurt myself. And I can't lie, like I get kind of scared of cutting my cuticles. I did a course, so I know now how to do it properly. And I guess it's just a matter of time and practice and experience and all that, no? To feel more comfortable with it. But what I'm aiming for is I'm just trying to get the raised bit of skin. I'm not trying to go too far deep into it because I don't want to accidentally cut myself and hurt myself. And Lord knows, I've done that before. Then I get the round drill bit and I'm going around focusing on the skin, not the nail. And I'm basically cleaning everything up. With the cuticle clipper, scissor, I don't know. I try to cut the cuticle off in all one piece, but sometimes there's little bits of skin, like little flaps or tags, I guess you can call it. So with this round bit, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clean all of that up. Now I'll go in with some cuticle oil. I put it around 360 degrees around my nail. I'm trying to avoid my nail because I still want to keep it as dry as possible because obviously I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of stuff to it. And I want it to be able to be glued on properly. And with a buffing tool, I'm going around, once again, 360 degrees around the nail. This is the final step to clean up all of the skin and also help absorb the oil into the skin. Once again, I do it 360 degrees around in one direction, and then I put my machine in reverse, and then I go around in the other direction. I'm being careful to try and avoid touching my nail. I'm focusing on the skin only. Look at it, nice and fresh. Now with a 150 grit nail file, I'm gently, it doesn't look so gentle, but I'm gently buffing or making the surface of my nail rough and then using distilled alcohol to take off any leftover bits of dust and debris. Now I go over with my bond and my primer. The bond, I make sure to cover my whole nail with it. And then the primer, you only need like a little bit of bob kind of in the middle of the nail because it naturally expands to the rest of the nail. For the sculpture tip, I get the butterfly type sticker. I take the tab off and I put it on the back. And as I'm folding it in half, I'm being careful to make sure that it's all matching up properly because we don't want uneven nails. As I put it to my finger, I'm also being careful to make sure that it's laying flush with the finger 180 degrees, not pointing up, not pointing down. And then I put on my base coat, and while I'm waiting for that to dry or to cure, I'm preparing my polygel and my forming liquid. I'm using a brush that has a spatula on one side and the brush part on the other side. So I use the spatula to get a pearl of the gel, of the polygel, And then with my brush completely soaked in my formula, I'm gently tapping, similar in the way that you do with acrylic, no? I'm gently tapping it, shaping it all out. The good thing about this polygel, is that it doesn't dry immediately. So it's easier to work with in a way. I'm trying to make the shape, tapping like the tops and the sides as close to my final shape as possible so I have less filing to do in the next step. And why do I use polygel? Well, I used to do nails just for myself, and I did everything. I started doing dip powder, I did gel X, I did acrylic, and I decided, oh, I want to do a nail course because maybe one day I want to do nails for other people, not just for myself. So I wanted to learn how to do everything properly so I don't hurt anyone or cause any damage and everything like that, no? And I clearly didn't do enough research in the type of course it was because they started with this polygel. But you know what? I like it. I find it easier to work with than acrylic. And the good thing as well is that the formula that I use, it's not monomer. So it doesn't have a strong odor. You can use it with the windows closed. Like, it's fine. The only thing about the gel is that you need to cure it between every time. You need to cure the top and bottom. Once that's all done, you use some acetone to wipe off the top kind of sticky layer. And then I get to filing my nails. I'm doing the tops, sides, and bottom. Most of this I did off camera, so I'm sorry about this part. It's really short. But once you have your nails in the shape that you want, you can go over it again with some distilled alcohol just to wipe off any last bits of dust and debris. And because I'm doing a chrome nail design, I'm using black polish as the base coat, and I want to use silver chrome afterwards, so I want to make sure that it's nice and popping. Each finger is going to have a different design. I can't lie, I'm kind of just winging it. No, I'm doing a little abstract type situation. So I'm doing the full nail on one nail. Here, I'm attempting to do a French tip. I did kind of like a swirling French tip. I'm sorry, but half of this was off camera because I was too in the zone, you know? Anyway, now I'm doing another type of French tip with, I guess, a cutout. And then on my thumb, I'm doing kind of like a squiggly frame. I don't know if there's exact names for these shapes, but it's art and there's no rules and regulations. I just go with whatever the hell I feel like, and ain't nobody gonna stop me. So after that's all set, I'm going over with everything, all of the black, with a second layer of black nail polish. And when I'm looking back on it now, I don't really understand the point of doing it because I'm just gonna cover it all in chrome anyway. I don't know the science behind it, but that's what everybody does, like in the salons and the tutorials. I'm a sheeple. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm a sheep person. But that's what I do. I need to look it up later if it's absolutely necessary or not. Maybe to make sure that you have like a better surface so the chrome powder can really pop. No, sometimes one layer is quite thin. Anyway, for the chrome powder, I use a layer of top coat and I cure it for 30 seconds only. Don't cure it for a minute because then it's going to be too dry and your chrome powder is not going to stick on and you're going to wonder what the hell is going on. Trust me, I went through some trials and tribulations with that. So I used my pinky finger as kind of a tester to make sure that everything is going all right because it was my first time using this chrome powder and I'm happy with the results. So I'm going over all the black once again with my top coat. I'm trying to make sure every surface of the black is covered with the top coat. There's no bits and bobs missing because later on when I clean everything up, I don't want random speckles of black mixed up with my chrome. That's just not the design I'm going for, and that's okay. So with the chrome powder, I'm not gently rubbing it in, you know, I can't lie, I'm kind of using a bit of force and a decent amount of powder. Basically, I want to rub it in so much that I can get as close to the mirror-like finish as possible. I don't want to see any of the little grains of the powder anywhere where the chrome is meant to be. I want it to look as solid and metallic as possible. And once I'm satisfied with that, I go over just the chrome part with the top coat. I'm going over this because usually there'll be bits of debris on the rest of the nail, and if I go over the whole thing with the top coat, that means that those little sparkles or whatever are going to be stuck all up on my nail, and I wanted to have more of a contrast. After that's all cured properly, I wipe it off with, I'm pretty sure it was distilled alcohol again, and now I'm ready to start my 3D nail art. I'm using builder gel and a brush to kind of form, I guess, kind of like a 3D frame in different parts of the nail. I can't lie, I kind of find it is difficult to work with because it's very sticky. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just a question of practice. Maybe I'm not getting the right amount on the brush or something like that. I mean, I'm still making it work, but I feel like there's a technique that would be better. After I've done my 3D bits, I have this lizard nail charm that I want to add. So I'm using the same polygel I used to sculpt my nails, but just a clear one. Because the charm is kind of like 3D. It doesn't fit flush against the nail. So this is nice to stick the charm on and make sure that it's nice and secure. And then I just clean up the edges so that there's no blobs of gel just hanging around in the middle of the business where I don't want it to be. I'm going over again the 3D bits with the polygel because I want it to be protruding more. I felt like one layer, it wasn't enough texture for me. So I'm basically just going over everything again. And once again, it is easier, no, to go over something that's already there. I feel like it takes more concentration to just completely create the first step. Now with this nail, I decided I wanted to do chrome on the 3D bit, so I'm going through the same process again. Maybe there was an easier way to do that, but I've just been winging this design as I go, no? So I'm just doing whatever the hell I feel like whenever I feel like. I'm adding on a little bit of diamantes near the cuticle of one of my fingers. I'm using this glue. Well, it's basically a gel, but it's got a little, how do you call it, like a tube or a sprout on the end of it, so it makes it easier for me to place so I can put the charms on it. Now with these little balls, these are like proper spherical balls. Like they don't have a flat back. So it makes it kind of hard to work with because they be slipping and sliding everywhere. Like they don't want to stay in one place. So I'll put like 1, 2, maybe 3 if I can do it on. I'll cure it, put the rest on, cure it little by little like that. I have a few different, you can't see so clearly, but there's a few different colors, like something a bit more pewter, like a gunpowder color, to different sizes. And on the tip, I'm using a more silvery white gold color. Then I decided, you know what, I don't like these little bits and bobs in the middle of my nail. And after I clipped it off, there was texture left over from the glue, so I tried to hide it with some polygel and making it chrome again. But now, looking at it in hindsight, I'm like, oh, actually, it's kind of cool. I kind of liked it before. But anyway, it is what it is. I finally put my top coat on everything. I'm being careful to go around the charms and the diamantes. I'm not putting the top coat over it. Drying it, and there you go. That's how you do your nails. Like, share, subscribe. Bye.